Hello everyone, welcome to Code Engineer. This video is in continuation to the last video on inheritance. In the last video, we talked about what is inheritance, why do we need it, and discussed the syntax to create an inherited class in C++. In this video, we will see what is the significance of different access specifiers while creating an inherited class. But before diving into that, let's first understand the access specifiers. Here we have a class named ABC and we have used all the access specifiers within it. Let's assume that we have some data members and functions within each one of them. Now private, public and protected are technical terms. In a real world scenario, we could relate private access specifier to a person with introvert character. Just as an introvert does not like to interact with many people and has only a certain group of people with whom they talk, similarly, in the programming world, private members and functions cannot be accessed by anything outside the class. Also, just as an introvert doesn't like to go out for parties and social events and likes to remain in their own personal space, in the programming world, the members and functions of private do not like to go outside their class, which means, while performing inheritance, the private members and functions remain in their own class to the base and are not passed on to the child class. Talking about public access specifier, it is more like an extrovert. Unlike an introvert, an extrovert doesn't have a certain group that they interact with. They can communicate with anyone, anytime. Also, they enjoy attending parties and social events. Similarly, members and functions of public are open to access for all. Anything from inside or even outside the class can access them. And while performing inheritance, they are not hesitant to go to the child class. The protected access specifier is more like a person with an ambivert personality. They have qualities of both introvert and extrovert. Like an introvert, they do not like to talk with many people. They have a certain group of people they interact with. In programming terms, we can say that members and functions of protected cannot be accessed outside the class. Only the members and functions within the class can access them. Similar to extroverts, they like to hang out and attend social events, which gives us the conclusion that protected members and functions are derivable while performing inheritance. Now let's talk about the role of access specifier while creating an inherited class. So far, we have learned that members and functions of public and protected access specifiers could be inherited, but those of private access specifiers could not be inherited. While creating an inherited class, the access specifier guides the incoming members and functions as to what role they will play within the child class. So for example, if we write private here, we are saying that all the incoming members and functions will be part of the private access specifier in the child class. And same is the case for public and protected. But is it just that simple? Let's see with the help of a table. On the left hand side of the table, we have different access specifiers of the base class. On the top is how we inherit the base class. The table tells us how the data members of base class will behave when we use different access specifiers. Since private data members are not inherited to child class, hence irrespective of how we inherit, the data members and functions of private will not be present in the base class in the child class. We learn that public behaves like an extrovert and hence it is compatible with everything. If you inherit it privately, it will act like a private. If you inherit it as public, it will act as public. And if you inherit it as protected, it will act as protected. Protected behaves as an ambivert. If you ask it to behave as an introvert or an ambivert, it will happily do so. Meaning, if you inherit it as private or protected, it will act as private and protected respectively. But when you inherit it as public, which is an extrovert, it will not do so. Instead, it will choose to be an ambivert and will inherit as protected. That was all for inheritance. Thank you.